All right, perfect. So we've just gone over and clarified homework assignments. Now we're going to jump into the main mini lecture for today, which is looking at sentences level 2. So we're going to look at a couple of different types of sentences here today. We're going to look at what are called compound complex sentences and what are called academic sentences. So compound complex sentences um, are actually quite common in written English. These are the longer sentences that include three or more ideas. Now, I just want to be very clear about this. For our class, the the largest sentences that you should have will have 4 ideas maximum. Okay, so let's talk about compound complex sentences so that we can understand a little bit more how we get all of these ideas linked together in one sentence. Um, yes, so as I've just stated, these sentences are used when we want to join 3 or more ideas together within one sentence. So usually, because we know there's a compound component of the sentence and a complex component, we know that when we're talking about compound sentences, this is when 2 ideas are equal. That's review, we covered that off last week. So for a compound complex sentence, 2 ideas will be equal and one of them will be subordinate or less important. Obviously, you can already immediately know that we're going to have both coordinate conjunctions, our fanboys family, but we're also going to have subordinate conjunctions. And as we know, there are many, many subordinate conjunctions in the English language. So we've been working with our formulas, trying to get comfortable with the idea that we can write a formula to represent the structure of a sentence. Now, because of the fact that you have so many ideas being joined within one sentence, the formula order can vary. Okay, so here's the first option. This is when you have the compound idea first. So the 2 equal ideas come first, and then the subordinate or secondary idea comes at the end. So we have clause 1, then we have the comma fanboys. This is going to link those 2 first ideas together. Then we have a subordinate conjunction, and then our third idea, and then the period. So then we can reverse this. We can put the complex idea first. Now you'll notice the main difference between these 2 structures is when we use the second structure, complex compound, there are 2 commas within the sentence. When we use the first structure, there's only going to be 1 comma, and that's after clause 1. So for this second version, the complex compound version, you'll have your subordinate conjunction at the beginning, then we have clause 1, then we have our comma, then we have clause 2. Now, if you were to put a period right there, then it would be what type of complex sentence? Correct, it would be complex A. But because we're going to join on another idea, then we put a comma, fanboys, and we move into the third clause. Always we're going to end with a period. Okay, so let's take a look at a few examples of these 2 types of compound complex or complex compound sentences. So here's for that first formula where we have the compound idea first. Notice the comma and fanboys are going to be highlighted in blue, and the subordinate conjunction that's starting that secondary clause or the less important clause will come in red. So medical experts know that meditation calms the nerves, comma, yet patients do need to practice regularly since regular practice yields the best results. So you can see we have 3 ideas here, right? The first idea is that medical experts know that meditation is calming. Second idea is that patients would need to practice regularly. And then the third idea is that by regular practice, you're going to get the best results. So we could look at this sentence. We can see all of the ideas are related to each other. They're on one main topic, so we know that that makes sense. Now we notice that we've followed our formula. We have comma and then the fanboys element, and we have since. Notice there's no comma before since, and that's the way it should be. Okay, let's look at the second version. Okay, formula number 2. This is where we have our subordinate idea first. So we have subordinate conjunction, clause 1, then we have that needed comma. Then we'd have clause 2, comma, fanboys, clause 3, period. Always need a period at the end. Okay, because Dagnar snatched the unholy sword, comma, his arm burst into flames, comma, but the cold fire only further stirred his rage. Again, we have 3 ideas here. again, they're all related to the same kind of core main purpose or main kind of topic, so they make sense to go together. And we've used our linking elements, what I call our linking elements, which are our conjunctions and commas. We've used them correctly according to our formula. So those are two very good examples of these more complicated ideas where we have three ideas being joined in one sentence. Okay, let's move on. So this second new type of sentence that we're working with today is called the academic sentence. This is a great type of sentence to learn because it will kind of bump up your voice into a more academic type of register, a more academic type of writing, and this is exactly what English teachers and professors want to see. So this structure creates this elevated academic voice that we're talking about. It's usually used to join two ideas together, and at the same time, we want to explain the relationship between those two ideas. And here's our formula. We've got clause 1, then we have a semicolon, then we have this piece in the middle is called whom tatania me wanna see ya, and then a comma. Now, the key point here is that we need all three of these pieces to make the academic sentence correct. So you need that semicolon, you need your whom tatania family member, and you need the comma. Then we have the second clause, and then the period. So let's talk about this weird this weird abbreviation or acronym, I guess it is called, whom tatania. So these are what we call, they're another type of linking word, and they're called conjunctive adverbs, and that's why we need this little bit different structure here in the middle. And so H stands for however, M stands for moreover, T therefore, second T thus, N nevertheless, I in addition, and A additionally. And so these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, these 7 members make up our academic linking tools, or they're conjunctive adverbs, and we use them to link these ideas, and they explain how the ideas relate to each other. So if clause 1 is opposite of clause 2, we'd use however. If clause 1 and clause 2 are supporting the same position, we'd use moreover, or in addition, or additionally. If idea 1 is strange and not normal, but is still proved to be true by idea 2, then we'd use nevertheless. And finally, therefore and thus, they're both used to show result. So the idea in clause 1 causes the idea in clause 2 to happen. We would use therefore or thus. Okay, let's take a look at some examples here. So there's a reminder of our formula. Now remember, you need all three of the pieces of the linking component in this academic sentence. You need that semicolon, you need your whom tatania family member, and you need the comma. The adventurer discovered the golden jaguar head idol, semicolon, however, comma, he sensed a booby trap. So as I mentioned before, the however is explaining the two ideas and their relationship to each other. So even though the adventurer discovered what he was looking for, he also kind of senses there's some trouble coming up. So it makes sense that we're going to use however, because that shows opposition. The evidence demonstrated their findings, semicolon, in addition, comma. The students' comments were most informative. So this is an academic sentence where the first clause, talking about the evidence, also is supported by and on the same side of the argument as the information about the students' comments in the second clause. So we would use in addition. We could have used moreover. We also could have used additionally. All three of those linking tools, those conjunctive adverbs, they do the same thing. They show another point on the same side. Okay, so now it's time for you guys to try and practice using these types of formulas, these types of sentence. So I would like you to try to write down 3 sentences for each of those new formulas. So you'll have to do 3 academics, 3 using C1, fanboy C2, subconj C3 period, and 3 following the green formula here, which has the secondary or subordinate idea, and then moving into C2, then fanboy C3. So 3 sentences for blue, 3 sentences for yellow, 3 sentences for green, and you can submit that to me as one of your practice assignments. So it won't be for marks, it's just to show me you can do it. Okay, excellent work. Get on it.